To the war against the Islamic State group, the U.S. Army has adopted a battlefield technique learned from Israel's wars against Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The tactic is used to warn civilians who are present in a building used by militants, which has been targeted for destruction. The ITV News Desk has the report.
The United States has adopted an Israeli battlefield tactic in its fight against the Islamic State, exploding a missile above a building to knock on its roof as a warning of an impending bombing. Israel has used this tactic in recent operations in Gaza to warn civilians. A 2015 United Nations commission found that the tactic was not effective, as it sometimes caused confusion and did not give residents enough time to escape. This revelation that the U.S. is using an Israeli tactic came Tuesday at a press briefing which described an April 5th strike against an IS financial storage center in the Iraqi city of Mosul. The U.S., which had the building under surveillance, saw that it was inhabited not only by IS militants, but also a woman and her children. That led them to formulate a plan to get all the civilians out of the building.
We went as far as actually to put a hellfire on top of the building and airburst it so it wouldn't destroy the building, simply knock on the roof to ensure that she and the children were out of the building.
But the woman, who had run out of the building following the warning, ran back inside a short time later and was killed. Despite her death, it was said that the tactic may be used again in the future. According to the United States, the storage center was a house of an IS finance emir, holding as much as $150 million that was being used for IS operations. And although IS tries to convey in its propaganda the impression of a financially strong group, strikes by the US-led coalition and Russia have hit the group extremely hard. IS is suffering from morale problems among its fighters, in part due to the shortage of cash after more than a dozen airstrikes against money centers. And the number of foreign fighters coming to join the group in Syria and Iraq has now dropped from about 2,000 a month last year to only about 200 a month now. A new IS memo that was leaked by Ayman Jawad al-Tamimi, a fellow at the Middle East Forum and researcher at the IDC Herzliya, has found that a number of fighters have even falsified doctor's notes to, quote, avoid frontline duty. In response, IS has warned that any doctor who is found to be falsifying the notes will be held to account.